Hey everybody, Skol Purple Podcast. Carson Schubert here with you. Hopefully you're having a fantastic Saturday representing the Yotes on this Saturday. Also getting ready to call a college football game later on. But that's not the reason for making this video. The reason for making this video is the possibility of the Vikings maybe thinking about trying to bench either Jordan Hicks or Eric Kendricks or potentially both. Now, I don't think benching both is a good idea, but they do have somebody on the bench that could fill in for one of them who I think has a lot of potential, and we'll talk about him here in a moment as well. But let's go ahead and make sure you know where to get the show. I'll give you the social media right here. All right. So, should the Minnesota Vikings consider benching Eric Kendricks and or Jordan Hicks? That is the question that I am posing to you today. And I just want to start out by saying the PFF grade for both of these guys is not great through the first 2 weeks. In fact, their grades are in the mid to back end of the 50s. Jordan Hicks, number 58 in the league right now, and Eric Kendricks, number 54. And again, it's only 2 weeks, but according to these grades, they are all not doing very well, the Vikings' two linebackers. So that leads me to believe that there might need to be a change for the Minnesota Vikings. Jordan Hicks, he led the team in tackles, but that's also a deceptive stat because a lot of times linebackers will make tackles up the field or down the field a little bit. So it's not always a 100% stat. So I don't know how big tackling does for you if you're not tackling within the first 5 yards of contact or within the first 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. So I think that's part of Eric Kendricks or Jordan Hicks' problem. And I think that also is probably the case for Eric Kendricks. I think he's always been pretty decent in coverage. I think he is starting to lose a step. And I think Jordan Hicks is kind of in that same mold where they're both over 30 now, and they both are ready. I shouldn't say ready to retire, but they are getting closer to being on the edge of the end of their careers, maybe, or at least the prime of their careers, maybe backup type of players now. Eric Kendricks, as I said, his grade as well, a 54, a number 54 among linebackers right now in the league. So once again, that just kind of leads me to believe that maybe these linebackers aren't playing to potential. Our defensive line has been okay so far. First week was really good. Second week, but again, a tough task. Really good offensive line and a really good quarterback at evading the rush. But can Eric Kendricks and Jordan Hicks improve? I do think they can, but I just had to pose the question because if it continues to go like this, the Vikings really need to consider putting in Brian Asamoah, I truly believe, because he's got a lot of speed, he's got a lot of talent, and I think if the Vikings want to really look towards the future this season, which obviously it's a competitive rebuild, I think that they need to consider bringing Brian Asamoah in at least more, maybe not starting him, but at least bringing him in more, and hopefully the Vikings will do that, and hopefully the Vikings get the win over the Lions tomorrow. But again, those PFF grades are a little concerning to me. So make sure to think about that as the Vikings move forward here in the next game or two. Do we see more Brian Asamoah? Obviously, Lewis Cine is getting his first start probably this week because Harrison Smith's out. So he'll be next to Cam Bynum. Interesting to see those guys go at it as well. As I said, make sure to follow us on social media. And of course, that's at Skol Purple Pod. And as always, Skol.